Hey there, this is Schwermetallisch, and I'm sitting here with Colin Hendra of the band Wytch Hazel. Hey, Colin.
How's it going? You alright?
Yeah, I'm all right, and I was quite excited to do this interview with you because I think in the last couple of months since the release of Pentecost, I maybe listened to this record, 50 times or something like that. It's really very appreciated by everyone I know. Where does the name Wytch Hazel come from? That's a thing I always wanted to know, but was too lazy to Google.
Yeah, so witch hazel is like an old medicinal plant. So the idea was to I suppose the name is basically musical healing. That was the idea, and then but it kind of had two purposes. The idea was that the music would be, musical healing, but at the same time, it also needed to say like what sort of style, what realm are we operating in, and hopefully it kind of gives quite an old English sort of vibe off. So it kind of serves those two functions of sort of saying, look, this is positive music, this is musical healing, and it's Old English. So yeah, that was the idea really for Wytch Hazel, because it was believed to have magical properties back in the day. So this is the healing, basically.
So to be honest, I never really listened much to Christian music. Your band is literally the first one that got me hooked, and I'm 40 years old.
Great stuff.
It was always, the metal community is somewhat, religion, I don't know, and but it's totally in the background because the music itself is so positive that it's a message itself if you listen to the lyrics or not. And that is maybe the reason why me and my brother listened to this, the last record and the Sojourn and Prelude. The last, I don't know, 50 times we saw each other. And it's good gaming music. It's pretty good if you do stuff like Rocket League, with Hazel in the background and you fly.
Great stuff.
So, you're a religious guy and you do make religious music. How do you feel, or how do you live your religion in this dark age, so to say?
I think that I suppose you're always straddling the world of the two worlds of order and chaos, I find, and I think like the darkness tends to be the chaotic side of things, and I think pretty much everyone, whether they're a Christian or not, has experience with that kind of, it's the yin and yang, isn't it? The good and the evil, the order and the chaos, I suppose. And I suppose as a Christian, there's just kind of quite firm truths and things that it's very kind of a lot of the non-Christian worldview. A lot of it, from my understanding, comes from kind of some of it's quite postmodern, quite relativistic. And I suppose as a Christian, living my life out is kind of building your life on kind of quite firm foundation. So it definitely gives you a sense of like this is a sense of right and wrong and truths. So in some ways it can be quite, and in some ways it can be quite an offensive way of living, because I'm kind of saying, well, I think this is true, I think this is right, I'm going to live my life this way. Because people kind of think, well, no, there's lots of different ways of of doing things, and that like the first postmodernist argument is true. Like there's an ultimate way, there's an ultimate number of ways of understanding the world, but then putting that into application, there's certain things that there isn't a number of ways of understanding them. Some things are black and white, so it's kind of it's living my life as a Christian is kind of, there's kind of sets of truths and the kind of things that but there's a whole load of things that I don't understand in that, because no one can possibly understand everything. It's just not possible. It's not physically, it's just not possible. But I suppose just kind of the truths of the Bible, the truths of and the example of Jesus. I suppose that's kind of that's my life, and then that feeds out into the music, I suppose. So yeah, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get it from what you say, that religion is kind of a frame of laws to abide to. The Ten Commandments, for example, are just like a frame in which a good Christian lives and tries not to break the rules. And I think it's maybe oversimplifying Ten Commandments, but I like rules. I like to be organized, to have structure, and I can understand that people strive for structure and for rules to live by, because in many things get easier if you know exactly what you're doing, or what the laws and the rules say.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing, is Christianity, from my understanding, can be a little bit more complex than that. That stuff is generally true. I think it's kind of very much the opposite of postmodernism and relativism. That, for example, some people say, well, this is my truth and that's your truth, and I don't think that's logically coherent. I don't think that makes sense. That there's, it's kind of, from my perspective, Christianity is either completely true or just completely foolish. There isn't a somewhere in between in my mind. But if you think about the centerpiece of Christianity, the symbol of the cross is a symbol of compassion and a symbol of love and grace. And so whilst there is very much it's kind of like God is perfection, and actually we realise that we can't live for that. So the centerpiece of Christianity is Jesus' substitution, and I suppose that gives us leeway and grace, and gives us, when we're like, I'm not following the rules today, it's actually okay, because there is compassion, much like a father and a mother and father treat their kids. Kids don't always get things right, do they? So there's just an ongoing. Yeah, and you still set the rules. It's not like, we should set firm boundaries. We should still do those things, knowing that the kids are not going to follow them. But at the end of the day, when they break the rules and when they don't do things right and they're really, really annoying, you still love them. You still got grace for them. So I suppose there is a relational aspect to Christianity that's really important to grasp, and I suppose we should not just think of it as a set of rules. Which is good, like a set of kind of rules, and I think depending on your personality, because we're all completely different. Like you're saying, you like rules. That's part of your personality. Whereas some people no, that's not me at all. I actually don't really. I know rules are good for me, but I like to be a little bit more kind of open. So I'm quite messy. I'm quite. I kind of go into the realm of chaos quite a lot. But there's a lot of creativity there, so it's I really leave a trail of mess. Talking about messy rooms, but at the same time, there's kind of more metaphysical is the right word, maybe metaphysical truths, rather than just kind of like I've got a messy room. So I kind of hang my life on big kind of cornerstones of and it's kind of it's people see religion as quite old-fashioned, but I think it's quite close-minded to think that we need to live within the last, few decades. We've got the whole of history. We should look at history and see the good and the bad. And for me, looking back at history and having my kind of personal convictions, there is those truths there. But yeah, it's important to understand the relational aspect of Christianity, and that's what the cross is all about. That's the symbolism of the cross is a sacrifice, it's compassion, it's love, and it's like a father's love, I suppose. Yeah.
So when it comes to the influences of your music, what are the most influential bands in rock and metal for you?
I would say that like for Wytch Hazel particularly, there are a few bands that I got quite excited about that specific style. So one band particularly, Wishbone Ash, I felt like there's like a combination of things going on in that style of music, and I thought I kind of want to take some strong inspiration because I like some of the elements of what's going on there. So I kind of like to draw elements of Wishbone Ash. I like to draw elements of Thin Lizzy, for example, of Jethro Tull, like songwriting elements, sometimes quite instrumental elements. For example, like we use pretty much the same type of guitars, generally speaking, as Thin Lizzy, and that's quite deliberate. We like that sound, and so it's kind of, those are specific things. But more generally speaking, I'm really into Black Sabbath. I really like Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, kind of all the obvious culprits of like classic heavy metal, classic hard rock. Really, it's I've not really moved on. I don't really see myself moving on from that area because there's just so much good stuff, isn't there? So
I think the classic metalheads really have to start with the classics. Yeah, we have the youth getting into metal, and some groups and some people get into newer stuff first and listen to the classics later on, or vice versa. That I think in the end it doesn't matter. But I'm with you on that. I noticed in songs like Dry Bones, which is my absolute favorite song of you guys. There's this high pitched scream, a few of them, and this gives me a really strong Manowar vibe. But like they can, he can't sing anymore like this. But it doesn't matter because we have Wytch Hazel, so. And yeah, of course, the Thin Lizzy vibes are all over the place, and some folky stuff. Your kind of your technique when you're singing is very interesting, because from the lower, more centered pieces you sing in the songs to that high pitched screams you sometimes do. It's like. Nobody would think that is the same vocalist.
Yeah, depending on the style, isn't it? I suppose. Yeah, more of the ballads and things. Yeah, there's definitely more. That's like a softer approach, and I generally try not to do too much of the. It's why when Bruce Dickinson belts out notes, and there's like an operatic style, like an operatic sort of sound, and there's a vibrato in the voice. You can hear it when Bruce Dickinson really goes for it, and he does that quite a lot. And there's a lot of kind of European metal bands that do the operatic thing, and I don't kind of do that too much. I think it's just kind of more what it doesn't really suit my voice so much. So I kind of I'm kind of a little bit more straight through the note rather than the operatic vibrato and things like that. So you just play to your strengths. So I just kind of do what feels natural and try not to change my voice too much. But I think you're always, if you sing along to these different styles, then you're gonna pick up things anyway. So yeah, as far as singing goes, I try and just sing for the style and try not to be too much of the same thing. I like to have dynamics. It's something I'm working on constantly, actually, because I want to kind of constantly improve my vocals. I think that there's stuff I could be doing better and the things I can improve on. But yeah, and I really like the high-pitched vocal stuff. I mean, I got into it possibly it was Judas Priest, but it was also like bands like Sortilage. It was Uriah Heep, and and obviously Stryper has done that as well. The high-pitched vocals. So it's just kind of a combination of all those different things. I've adopted that approach.
Yeah, is there any chance there's the Lady in Black cover in the cards?
Lady in Black, that'd be a good idea, yeah, maybe.
Because I think that would be better.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't... The thing is that I find it so hard to think of like covers or approaching a cover, because I always find that I could either do a worse version of, not do it as well, or not all, but as well as that, sometimes I feel like she'd bring something different to a cover, and I just think that sometimes you don't want to just do a carbon copy of the style. I think when you do a cover, you want to do something differently. So I think with Wytch Hazel, we'd have to do something that was a completely different style, and then for us to make it sound Wytch Hazel-y, I think that would probably be better for us. Because I don't think it would be as good, to be honest.
Yeah, well, sometimes a cover really can be better than the original. I think it's a classic, no question about that. But it's kind of boring maybe a bit, because the vocalist doesn't get excited for what it feels like 1 hour. It's a long song.
Yeah.
And I think your balance of your balance you do while you're singing, you're very well balanced between the lows and the middle parts and the higher parts. In my opinion, that would just be very good for this song to make it more exciting. Just add 1 or 2 high-pitched screams and everyone is very satisfied.
Yeah.
But I know cover versions are and either you destroy it, or it's I don't know, or it's exactly the same, and both is not what you want as an artist, maybe. So is number 3 Pentecost the last one of the is it the trilogy?
Well, I suppose for now it's the trilogy, but don't know really. I mean, we might just continue the Wytch Hazel 4. I don't really know. I tend to write the songs first most of the time, and then I most of the time I'm writing the album, and then I'll decide what it's called, because it's difficult to name an album if I haven't got the themes of the tracks together. So I always kind of leave it to last. I think, right, we've got an album, what should we call it? I know other people work in different ways, but yeah, I think it'll be a decision for afterwards. So for now it's a trilogy, but it could be there could be Wytch Hazel 4. Who knows? It's not planned yet, is it? So.
From your Twitch account, Wytch Hazel, which I think is a hilarious name for a Twitch channel. We all know you are doing your best to bring the next record out, or to write and compose the next record. How many stuff is already written?
I mean, there's I'm planning on, I've been working quite hard on a different type of Wytch Hazel album, which is bringing all old Wytch Hazel songs. I say all previous Wytch Hazel songs and doing different versions of them. You know, speaking of covers, like a Wytch Hazel covers album, but it's kind of a reprise of all those songs. So I've been working quite hard on that, and that's just really kind of there's lots of vocals to track for that. Really, there's just a lot of. Unfortunately, I keep getting this cough, but so I keep kind of hopefully I'll be okay to do some more vocals tomorrow. But I'm just kind of working hard on that. There's a lot of vocals, a lot of guitars and keyboards and all sorts of things to kind of layer on top of what's been recorded. All the drums are kind of done. So it's kind of decent progress, but it's just hard. I work full time, so you know, it's kind of a labour of love. But in terms of Wytch Hazel 4, I've got about 5 songs just about finished for Wytch Hazel 4. And I'm at the stage where I've got lots and lots of unfinished songs. So I've probably got about just as many unfinished songs partially recorded, and then loads and like 30 ideas songs, like 1 and 2 sections. So it might be for this next album, the next full proper studio album, that I might end up writing more than 10 and then trying to pick songs. I think that's what will happen, because I'm just writing more and more. But I'm kind of writing, you know, partial songs quite a lot of the time. So yeah, there's lots of songwriting going on. I just, for some reason, I have this ability to just stumble upon melodies and chords and come up with tunes quite quickly. I've not ever really had writer's block, but even if I do, I've got about 30 ideas in a folder anyway, so I don't really, you know, it's kind of quite constant. So yeah, about 5 ideas. Who knows when it's going to be finished? Although from September, if you following live stream stuff, I've been saying that because of the support of the live stream and my kind of patronism sort of thing, it's called Ko-fi, Ko-fi.
Yeah.
But it's a bit like Patreon, and because of that support and the success of the last album, which has sold a lot more records, I'm able to do 1 day a week of Wytch Hazel, which is really good because I can really start on these demos. I can make much quicker progress. So kind of a lot of lockdown has been trying to generate support, financial support, so that I can do more of this stuff while songwriting as well, and I've started a few things up. So yeah, it's just pretty much a daily thing, constantly working on that, right, what he's doing. I'm very to-do list orientated, and yeah, it's a matter of time really, and support, that's it basically.
Yeah, I will try to bring a few supporters in. That should not be a problem. That's kind of why I make videos like this, to support bands I like, and I'm in the great position to say, yeah, I want to make an interview with that guy, and I'm working alone, so nobody tells me what I do.
Yeah.
So I can support who I want. That's great.
Right.
So there's a German YouTuber called Krachmucker TV. I don't know if you heard of that one. His name is Ernie, and he in one of his shows he showed the cover of I think that was. Come on. It was Sir John. I don't know if I spoke that correctly. Sir John?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Sir John, okay. He showed the cover of that record and said, "Man on a horse, castle in the background, top record." and it's like an inside joke. Every time you see a cover with a man on a horse and a castle in the background, or a house or something like that, it's okay, I have to listen to this. Maybe it's as great as Wytch Hazel. Any day I'm going on my socials, I see another one of my friends like, oh, first time listened to Wytch Hazel, and I ordered, I don't know, 6 items of the Bandcamp page. So I think the support is trickling in.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you have new material in the works, and that's great. And that you have a cuff is not so great. That makes it hard to work, I know. Who did the cover artwork for Pentecost?
That's because that was Branca Studio.
That is really a phenomenal cover.
Yeah. They're cool. They kind of they do a lot of kind of quite 80s looking things, maybe 70s look, with like the typography and things. When they get asked, the last two albums was Branca Studio. They did the artwork, and he's obviously not just a kind of one style guy. Like he can do lots of different things, and that's obviously evident in the cover. He's quite versatile as an artist, so it's great. I would be really happy just to continue working with Branca Studio, because I think they just do a great job. So.
I think that should not be a problem, because I think you took a big step forward with Pentecost. It's like everyone talks about Wytch Hazel at the moment. That's my understanding of the situation at hand.
Yeah. Cool.
And the cover also gives kind of Arthurian wipe off with the sword and the stone. Okay, the sword is not in the stone, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's the same imagery, isn't it? Symbolism.
So you guys have been around for 10 years now.
Yeah.
And the first time I googled you, after the first time I listened to Wytch Hazel, I saw Colin Hendra. See, also ex-Angel Witch. You played with Angel Witch. That's fantastic.
Yeah, well, I was only one show, but I played one gig with Angel Witch, and someone decided to put it on Metal Archive. I wouldn't say it was ex-Angel Witch after one show. But yeah, it was their first show. It was quite nice, really, because quite special, because it was their first show in Spain. It's the first time Angel Witch played in Spain. And I can't remember whether the guitarist couldn't do it, probably something. And I was just asked to play this. Could I fill in for the show? And so I was like, oh, obviously yes. And it's great. It's a really, really good show, really great experience. So yeah, really cool. A bit surreal at the same time, because whenever Angel Witch play a gig, I'm kind of like right at the front watching the bands. Angel Witch on a lineup, they're very much I just think they're great live. And so I really enjoy playing. And it's just the songs. He's played so many songs off that first album, and it's just, I'm a big fan anyway. So getting to play was a bit of a dream come true, to be honest. So it was cool.
Yeah, I think the last record they brought out was really fantastic.
Yeah.
Because is that the title track? No, Don't Turn Your Back. That was a single. This riff. Jesus, sorry. this riff is really wonderful.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's actually one of their 80s, one of Kevin Hayborn's 80s songs that was kind of either rewritten or just finished for that album. So that's cool. I think there's more than one that were old old Angel Witch songs that were brought and for that album. So that's cool. Yeah, it was really good. They did a good job of that for that last album.
So I got one last question for you. Most musicians answer about in a similar way, but I get from the time we are speaking now that this interview is a bit different. So I'm thrilled for the answer. What was it like for you working and living during this Corona pandemic?
Yeah, well, to be honest, I think it's been generally difficult for a lot of people. I think it's, like before I was saying, like that, the idea of order and chaos, it's just thrown the whole world into a level of like uncertainty. When things are not certain, when people lose their jobs, it's chaotic. Like we thought there was order and we thought there was stability, and so like it was generally hard for everyone, including myself. I found it kind of quite hard just to get my head around, and then just kind of having expectations lifted, and then oh no, right, so we're kind of going back into a lockdown or whatever, and it's just hard because just the uncertainty and unmet expectations are just generally difficult. But during this time, I've really tried to use it as an opportunity, because like I've been working on this Wytch Hazel reprise of these songs. I've also been writing new Wytch Hazel songs as well for like a full fourth album. But then I also managed to write I've written a full solo album, which is kind of quite contemporary and kind of like church music, like modern church sort of album. So during this time, I've kind of simultaneously been working on 3 albums. I've started up my live streaming since January. I've started up the Patreon style support. We've had kind of good kind of what's it called? Kind of like good kind of accounts, clarity and sorting the band accounts out, sorting out our royalty splits, and like having good chats with the band, and just setting things up for when we can play, and we want to move things forward. But if you want to move forward, you have to be prepared. So really, this time, what I'm generally saying is that it's been a time of preparation, and we're still in that time now, really, of just preparing to kind of keep going, to keep releasing music, keep playing shows, and move the project forward. So whilst it's been difficult, it's been a real kind of a really good opportunity, actually, and I've tried to use the opportunity as much as I could. There's been obviously days when you think I just can't do anything today.
Yeah.
But and I've been working quite a lot during, and this is the thing, like I think that when you haven't got work, you are always less productive. When you've got a job and you're like, right, I've only got this limited time, I always find I'm more productive. So I've been lucky to have a job. I've been doing like virtual teaching as well, because my job's teaching music. I found the virtual teaching difficult, but still having that, right, I've got to work today and there's these times, that stability is just so important. Like I don't think I could do without that level of stability. Even if I was completely self-employed, I would have to set, this is when I'm working these days, and I'd have to set, I suppose I do work to a level of order, and like it's good to have kind of rules and structure. So I've probably done quite well out of, there's been winners and losers, I think. So yeah, I think I've seen it as, I tried to see it as a positive time, even though it's been really, really difficult. But I think that it's been much more difficult for more people. So I've tried to kind of be grateful and use it the best I can. So yeah.
Yeah. As I said, that was a different answer than most people would say would give, which is good, which is very good. It was similar for me, because I'm retraining for a new job, so I'm almost completely bound at home. At home office, doing all my stuff from the personal computer at home, and I write a lot, and I do this YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
And it's easier to do that when you're at home.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
but I'm looking forward to opening up and gigs, concerts, festivals like that. I really miss meeting strange people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that was all I had in store for you. So thanks very much for your time. Get well soon.
Yeah.
I know that it really sucks when you're a singer and always have issues with coughing and getting sick. That's stressy. So yeah, drink very much.
Yes, I will do.
Drink and rest. Yeah. So that's it for now. If you have something new upcoming, a new record or stuff like that, I would be happy to do another interview.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay. So thanks and have a nice day, Colin.
Yeah, you too. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.